All right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. Know what you're doing before you do it, and you can lose all your money. Also, this live stream is not financial advice. It is for educational purposes only, and the live stream is not intended to copy my trades. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Yep, end of the week. And we actually have news today. 8:30. Let's see, make sure. Checking everything, make sure we're good to go. Good morning, good morning. All right. Looks like not much movement overnight. 50 tick chart there. Started off the evening or the morning. Yeah, started off with a bunch of 50 tick chop, little run up, little run down, not much. Yeah, we got that 12,000 level that it broke, so now it's probably going to hang around it for a little bit, maybe a few days. Pretty common. We'll see. Yesterday was a lot of the same of what's been going on. There was one good scalp. It got 20 ticks. But that was it. I actually broke even on it though. So we're probably going to have to wait for the news again today. Yeah, that's a good point. Smack. I say that, and that actually, so a lot of times, because for some people, NQ is too fast after the open, so I know I've recommended YM, and I've had a lot of good success. My mom's gotten funded with YM, doing LREs, but a lot of times what can happen is those lines get too tight, just like you said, and when they're too tight, that means there's not a lot of price action. You know, it could just pullbacks are very little, if any, not even a 10 tick bar pullback. So yeah, I'm always cautious when the lines are too tight, because that is a thing as well. But when they're really tight, it's better for simplicity than LRE. That way you at least have a smaller stop. We got about 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes till the news. Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure the reason why. Never really thought about it. It's a good question. think I saw some margins have increased. I could be wrong. Good morning, Thomas. No, I don't. That's actually when I end my session, is right before the open. So I only trade about an hour before the open. Unfortunately, that's just due to my schedule. Morning, morning. Yeah. So I end my session, and actually the last 2 days. So I end my trading session, and I don't trade after the open because I got to hit the road. But the last 2 days, I've shut down my stream and everything, and then left my charts open, not on my funded accounts or this 25K challenge. I have a handful of other 50K accounts, and I've left it open running while I'm getting everything ready to head out. And then right before I head out, I came back and checked, and actually I grabbed a nice trade the day before yesterday on CL on those accounts, those evaluations, and then I grabbed a nice one yesterday for NQ about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes after the open. But I typically, and I only took it in those valuations too, because I typically, if I don't have a lot of time ahead of me, I don't like to take a trade, because obviously if it loses and you got to go, it's like, I don't have time to make it up. Yeah, if I'm not sitting here at the computer, I have everything in Sim. Everything in Global Sim and no trade copier open. Yeah, I'm super paranoid about that because I have hotkeys on my keyboard too, and I just feel like, I don't know, something's going to fall on a key. I don't have a cat or nothing, so not worried about that, but I don't know. I'm just super paranoid about it as well. Like my mic will fall over on the keyboard or something. Or just one of those random ghost orders happen. So yeah. That was exactly the reference I was gonna make, Thomas. like a loaded gun. Just if I walk away, I'm throwing my safety on. If I'm not using it. Yes, Mac, I've done that before. Oh man, it sucks because it catches you by surprise. You know, you're expecting to go short or whatever, and you enter that trade, and you're like, wait, why is it losing? It should be winning. Wait, what? What's going on? A random moment of confusion. Yeah. All those nice trader errors. We've all been through that. Yeah. Or like if you've that's why I stopped playing around in Sim with like a ton of contracts. I've done that before where you throw on like 20, 10 well, depends on your account size, right? But where I've played around with 10 contracts just to be like, man, if I ever get to max contract size. I've done that before, and then you forget to change it, and you come back to actually trade, and you take a trade with 10 contracts, something crazy. It's like freak out time. All right, we got about a minute and a half till the news. Morning, Jim. Oh, yeah. I always, on all my charts on the margin on the right side, I always have at least 75. I don't know 75 what, but let's see. What is it? Like this one's 100 right side margin. I do not want that too close. I think my simplicity I have 75. Yeah. All right. News is about to come out. Oh, yeah, you said the F button. Yeah. Yeah, the F button right here, right next to the buy. You slip on that a little bit, you're hitting buy. Yeah, that's scary. All right, news should be coming out in a few seconds.
Rejection on adhere. Double cluster NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Double cluster NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on CL. Potential TX on CL. Potential SLZ on CL. Potential double TX on CL.
Morning, John. Yes, Nikita, 8 ticks. CL, all the settings are just like ES. Yeah, and 30 ticks in a big sideways range. No, that one's $10 per tick. Simplicity's trying to go long, but right back to the top of this 30 tick here and at the top of the 50 tick. So let's see what happens if it wants to continue long.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential OP rejection on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. OP rejection on NQ. Potential SLZ on NQ. Double cluster NQ. Double cluster NQ.
And there's nothing really standing out on the 30 tick chart for me. Scrolling back, scrolling around, looking, there's not much on there right now. Yeah, Thomas, that's what this high impact news will do for sure. We have our dark zones and then we wait to get a direction. And I actually, I do keep a 5-minute chart as well to see just an overall direction of trend for the market. So look at that. That's what you're talking about right there, Thomas. Nice, Dan. Yeah. Not much there. So we actually have more news at 10 a.m. as well. So if you're still trading at 10 a.m., be careful of that. Good morning, Joan. There's no, nothing before the news, and I didn't get on until about 15 minutes before the news, and I mean I already had my charts running, so I was glancing over to see if there was anything even that looked remotely good before after 8 o'clock, and there just wasn't. You can see here on the simplicity chart, 8 o'clock, and then it just was still choppy, a little pop up. But Yeah. Yeah, I get one of those days that it's just everything runs and works exactly the way it should. Oh man. Just waiting for those days to come back. Patience, patience, patience.
Potential TX on NQ.
I'll agree with that, Thomas, that a lot of systems have
Trap orders with exhaustion box.
those stretches, like you said. But that's also why I love the Apex system here that you're seeing. I mean, I've been on it for 3 years, and because it is all based on orders, order flow, footprints, that it pretty much stays the same. I mean, yeah, there's different market conditions and things to look out for, but this system, since it's only based on orders and not any technical indicators, like we're only looking at what's actually happening right now in the market.
Potential OP rejection on CL.
Yeah, and like you said, there's stretches for sure. There's stretches. Normally before this month, I've noticed that I'll have let's say around 3 weeks of just really good price action and market movement for this, for the trades that we look for. And then it'll go like 1 or 2 bad weeks. And it's been alternating like that for the last half of last year. And then we come into January and it's been just super stagnant. But no, the bar sizes have all stayed the same on the sniper system. It has developed though over the last 3 years as far as the sniper trades. So they've found what trades are stronger than others. Since I started with them, there was a couple trades that were around before that they weren't sniper trades, and those kind of fell off just because the sniper trades turned out to be so strong. And simplicity's always been the same. The simplicity and LRE, that's always been the same.
OP rejection on CL.
Yeah. We do have settlement above. So if it does start heading long above our top here, this top area, then it'd be about halfway to settlement, between settlement and the 0.25. And it may go ahead and take that run if we can go long above this area. But you see, we have a lot of
Potential TX on
zones of interest in here. Now, if this bar can close up with this mini magnet here, that could be our push to go long. Because you see on its way up here, it had a exhaustion box of trapped orders and a paw to push up, some zones of interest here. And now coming down, and if it leaves this mini magnet and closes up, that could be our push off. No, well, they have a tool. Apex has a tool where you can enter the trades with automation, but it's still, you still want to, of course, manually manage it once you're in the trade. So it's just really an order entry for automation. I like to do things manually though. I like to be in control. Sometimes that's a bad thing though. You know, you can let your emotions jump in and close things too early or this and that, but I've gone back and forth with that actually. Yeah, the only problem with the trade I take though is there's not an automation for that one for the LRE pullback. So basically, my trade that I take is a when this is trending this chart, then I look for a pullback. Not sure if you're too familiar with it, but I look for a pullback, and once it reaches within 2 points and I like the entry, then I'll hop in. But there's not really there's not a tool to enter based on that, and you don't want to always take every pullback, so it's kind of hard. Yeah, the only thing I wonder about on automating these type of entries though is because there's a lot of, I'm reading the market to tell me whether I want it or not. There's a lot of there are some, hard, I guess, guidelines to it where you could say, okay, if this is happening with this pullback, then I'll hop in. But then there's a couple things where it's just it's based on things that you're looking at to the left and stuff like that, as far as previous supporter resistance levels, you're coming back and retesting it. So I don't know how that aspect you would really build into it to filter out when it would take it or not. Yeah, you can reach out to me, Thomas. I'm definitely open. These pullbacks, I don't know. I don't know too much into the programming either, so but they did automate the simplicity entries. That has, well, kind of an automation with the chart trader and the sniper entries. The only one that I don't know about would be the LRE, the pullback. No, I haven't heard of them. I'm going to look it up. I'll look them up. Is it futures also? Jean? Yeah, Thumper. I think you've mentioned that before as well. I need to look. I'll look into that as well. They're an automation tool. Cool. Yeah. Whenever I guess their videos are on YouTube. I'll check them out today later. Hmm. That's nice. Yeah, I like watching that stuff. I'll definitely check them out. Look at the 50 tick chart right now. Just looking pretty ugly. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind this coming short to head back down to our bottom on the 30 tick. If we're going to keep this range, let's just go ahead and head down. Awesome. Thanks for recommending that. Yeah, Apex on a PA, they do not allow like an auto bot or a complete auto system. So if anything is complete auto and they notice that you're using that, then yeah, they can cancel your PA. That's in the PA agreement, actually. Yeah, you can have something to auto enter and things like that, but they want you to be physically present and able to still control it if you need to. That's kind of the rule. Hey, welcome, Hyper. Yeah, so this is the Apex trading system. Um, this chart, the big chart here is 10 tick diagnostic bars. So what that is Apex. They're proprietary to Apex, and what it does is it measures. So it's not an actual like the tick bars or Renko bars. Um, all it is any move of once 10 ticks goes up or down, then the bar closes. And inside the bars, it's measuring order flow and footprints. So basically, inside the bars, this is what's going on. It's measuring all the orders, and they have algorithms that tells us when the market's exhausted, when there's trapped orders, when there's any zones of interest, things like that. And then it'll leave that mark on the chart for us. Just like all the things that you're seeing, these purple lines, orange lines, things like that. So it's telling us what's happening in the market. And then I have the same thing, but on a 30 tick size. So it's a larger view of the market. And then I have a 50 tick bars here. And this is just to show me when it's getting choppy and there's breakouts. Yeah, it's not Renko bars. There's no time attached at all. No, I don't have a video on how I set up the bars. I do have a video of how I set up my simplicity chart, which is this one. And this is simplicity. What it is it measures price action and implied volatility of the options market. So when they're both in agreement in one direction, then the market will trend that direction. And when they're not in agreement, like now, red and green, then it's choppy. And this is what I use to enter my trades. So I do have a video of how I set that up. But the rest of the charts, I use all their standard templates that they have, except I do make a couple slight changes. Like down here, these bars, I change it to look like this. I think that's the only really change that I make. Yeah, I mean, it is similar to Renko. But yeah, you're right, Thomas. Similar to Renko, but there's other mechanics to draw the wicks and those order prints is what they're called.
Double cluster and cube.
All right, now if we look at the 30-tick chart, this is potentially leaving a mini magnet here. So if this bar closes down at 12.044 and it leaves this mini magnet, that could be our push short. That can create a nice little short. And if we get a entry on this simplicity chart, if this can flip both lines red and angle down along with this bar closing down with this mini magnet, that's key, then that could push us short. That change, Daniel, you'll just go to indicators. And then that one is going to be apex deviation reversal. And then all the way at the bottom, under plots and value, you just check this little box that says match data series width. That's all you do. And then it'll make the bottom, these deviation reversal bars, look like that. All right, so we may get this bar closing short. Simplicity's trying to flip red. So let's see if we can get this move, if this can happen. Interesting. Thanks for your input there, Brant. Yeah.
Potential TX on N cube. Trap orders with exhaustion box on N cube.
And he got close to closing. This bar got close to closing. We need this to close with this mini magnet. Simplicity did flip. Both lines are red. In order to be in a valid simplicity trend, they need to both angle down as they're doing now. That bar close, and then the next bar break the low. And that'll be what we call a simplicity trade. We did get the close of this bar with this mini magnet, so let's see if it actually pushes off the way it should. We do have this zone of interest here that it would need to break, this ZOI. So let's see if this mini magnet and push gives us enough to bust through there. And if it does, I'll look for a pullback before it gets to this bottom. We do technically have a simplicity short going now. Both lines angled down, broke the bottom. So we have a short here. Let's see if it'll continue enough to give us a pullback and look good enough to take it. Okay, it is moving down. This is why I love this system, because it gives you a great read based on orders, the imbalance of orders. This may not continue down, but this signal right here, this mini magnet, this bar closing down, was my signal that I needed to say, okay, the market's going to push from there now. It's going to try to make a push. And then we got the entry for simplicity here. And now it's making that push down. So I need it to come down a decent amount so I can look for my pullback. We have this wall here that we are hitting now. So let's see what's right below. So if we can make it down, I mean, this would be a good target down here, this deviation, this area. I know we have this wall here, but if we get some HD, I may take this short. It's coming up kind of hard. Testing those clusters. Okay, now we have HD. We're still within 2 points. Let's see if it comes up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go short because we got this ZOI here. Going to move back. Oh, it came up. It's going to test that ZOI. It's going to go short now. I got in a little too early. Just testing those clusters. Oh, it's going to get me again. Okay, it wasn't ready to go down. Felt like it was testing that bottom. Yeah, it's gonna pop up. This one's not gonna hold up either. If we can leave this mini magnet, yeah. Got me out. I got caught in the market, the chop. Not the chop, but in the middle. Never made it down. Look. I'm done now. So my read on that. Here, let me.
Potential TX on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ.
See, it's trying to come up and test that mini magnet first. I thought I was going to test this bottom with these clusters, but it just didn't run enough. I know. So I really should have waited for this to run a little further down short, because if you look at the simplicity, man, I liked all that HD that it had with those double clusters to bounce off of. But if you look, like, it really didn't run down, and that's why I typically like for it to be going further before I wait for a pullback. So it was early in the simplicity, but let me see if I can get this off of here, because I have no data now because my tool. Here, let me do this. There we go. So this pullback right here, we have these clusters and all this right here. I thought it was going to test this and then make its run down, which it came up a little bit higher. But look at all this HD, 629%. Man. But we have a 30 tick cluster that popped up as well. 30 tick cluster while I was in that trade, actually. And then now it's laying this mini magnet up here. And if this bar closes short, then it'll probably make its run. But I got caught. Got caught in the indecision for the moment. And also, man, look, the 50 tick, we were at the top of the 50 tick bar here too. So likely to head down.
Potential TX on NQ. Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ.
Yeah, looking at this, see, this is where I should have waited for this to run down further. That's why I always on my LREs like the simplicity, and that's also the reason why I don't ever take an LRE where the entry is before the actual simplicity entry, because you want it running. In this case, let's see. Yeah, see, I took my entry was right behind where the original simplicity entry was. So I kind of broke my rule on that. Because see, here's the entry. Simplicity entry's here at about 43.50, and I got in about 45. So broke my own rule on that, because I like it to be trending and then pull back further. So what I was looking at, like I said, was it coming back and testing this bottom and then making its run down. Basically what it did right here is what I was wanting to happen here. So had this happened right here, it would have been fine. Would have grabbed 10 points or so, 8 to 10 points. But it just came up a little higher. But yeah, so that's it. That's my risk limit for the day. So come back next week. 30, actually lost 35 ticks. My risk limit is 30, so I did lose a little bit of slippage there. But 5 ticks isn't too much. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream because I don't want to sit around. Can't do anything anyways. I don't have data because my tool took me off. All I can access is my sim accounts. So go ahead and hop off the trade. Yep, gonna take the weekend, hop off the stream, and then come back Monday. And let's see, Monday is the 30th. Monday's the 30th. So a couple days left, 2 more trading days left of January. And hopefully we can get better markets coming up. So, but, let's see. I am down on this account. I'm at 24,585.30. Down 414. So that's basically, with as bad as January's been, yeah, it sucks that I'm down 414.70. But as bad as January's been during my session, I'm not worried about that. That's two good profitable days makes that up. So yeah, not worried about it. So, all right, I will see y'all Monday. Have a great day. Watch out for the news at 10 a.m. and any earnings that might come out. And have a great weekend. And I will see y'all on Monday. Take care, everybody. Trade well.